DCeased Dead Planet issue 4, Tom Taylor writing with Trevor Hairsine on the art. And this issue sees the group try and perform a heist of the Mobius chair. They try to steal it from Metron because they're like, hey, this chair will have the answers to how to get the cure out of Cyborg. So we just have to get that chair, and that'll solve everything, all of our problems. But we get some of the New God stuff. We get to see, obviously we got Mr. Miracle last time, but here we actually get to see Orion and Highfather, which plays off Tom Taylor was clearly a fan of Tom King's Mr. Miracle because there's some direct parallels and references to it, and what he does with some of this. The stand up moment where
I don't know if Tom King took that from elsewhere in the past and did kind of like what Morrison does.
Yeah, he could have done, but I do really appreciate that it does it. Orion keeps putting Scott down, and then eventually Jonathan just comes in and knocks out Orion, says stay down.
Yeah,
which is the opposite. I just love it.
It's great.
So they form all this plan at the start, and they're all kind of discussing what to do. There's some awkward Damien and Cassie kissing and all sorts.
Yeah, Cassie saying an emotionally aware Batman is so hot.
Yes. We have them going to have to, I think Mary and Jonathan go to get Dinah because she's still heartbroken about Oliver. And
yeah, she got kicked out with him, and I think they're going to get Fate to kind of keep an eye on Ollie, keep him contained.
But they go to New Genesis and form this plan, and Highfather agrees to call on Metron. Even though but a lot of it comes from Mr. Miracle's son's there. So and again, it feels like it's kind of, hey, I mean this book's been taken so much from different parts of continuity that it's kind of interesting that it's happily alluding to that recent run so much, and how he's kind of been absent and he's left his son with Highfather.
It kind of feels they're trying to make that Mr. Miracle book into kind of like in a Killing Joke style situation. That I don't know if it's ever really continuity, but hey, if enough people use this thing, we'll force it into main continuity, and with Scott having a kid, right?
Pretty much. So yeah, so that's some interesting little touches. But they try and steal the chair. Metron fights back, zooms off, but then Jonathan and that kind of explain what they want with the chair, and essentially convinces them. Mary Marvel specifically uses the wisdom to convince him that he's all about knowledge, and if everything ends, then there'll be no knowledge. And what is he going to do then? So maybe he should let them use the chair for a minute.
He's like, should have just led with that.
So Cyborg does sit in the chair. He does seem to have the answers, and it's like, okay, this all felt like it went very well. I was enjoying the whole idea of trying to do a heist on the Mobius chair.
And so is this to recode his blood, which doesn't sound easy, admittedly.
Yeah, but it comes off as easy in the context of a comic book. But then you get the last few pages, which is Apocalypse. Whatever's left of Apocalypse is rumbling.
I love just the moment before this, though, is Metron gets the crystal ball, which is kind of what he's been at. That was the exchange,
and
he sees the future, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm out of here."
But we see this all this rock and Apocalypse just sort of explode, and of course it says Darkseid isn't as zombie Darkseid,
which I think also was used in the first DCeased book, right? We use that exact same kind of Darkseid isn't reference.
Which I guess is their way of saying Darkseid is undead. Is that they're going to keep saying Darkseid isn't? Because in the context of the first book, it was just very much, this is a play in words because he just died, so Darkseid isn't. Whereas now it feels like they're using it as kind of, this is our way of saying undead Darkseid, is Darkseid isn't.
Pretty much, as they call him, unliving Darkseid. But yeah, same thing.
But yeah, he goes to New Genesis, and that's our last page is him. He's got Orion under the palm of his hand. He's huge, by the way. He's giant here.
Yeah. Things not looking too hot for New Genesis right here.
No, and it makes me wonder if Scott's son might perish. I mean, do the heroes come back here and in time to see any of this, or have they just went back to Earth and they don't even know this is going on?
I don't know. The narration, who I'm not entirely certain who the narration's from. Can you remember? I don't know if it's told us or not, or if it's a secret. But it's just by the time that he felt it was too late, unliving Darkseid was already upon them. Telling the story. which implies also that it was too late for the Earth heroes, or at least does to me.
No, it does. That's what it sounds like. No, that's good. The art is, I think, the big splash pages. Darkseid coming out of the rock and all the beams.
Phenomenal.
It's fantastic. I think Hairsign does stuff in other places. Like I hate Highfather's beard in this.
Highfather's beard. I'm gonna have a look because I never had a problem.
Show what it looks like. It looks like the beard you get when you create a character in a PS2 game, where it's just really rigid and just this solid chunk of mass.
He uses some solid wax on it.
It bugged me, all right, and I think
it never bothered me.
For the most part, the art's good, but I thought Highfather's hair looked.
I mean, I can kind of see what you're getting at now that I'm looking at it, but it didn't bother me. I actually think Hessen's facial expressions are getting better as he goes along as well.
I actually would agree, because I had a lot of problems with the first book, and I think this one's had less of those issues. Although I still don't think it comes close to the Unkillables mini. I thought the art in that was.
So I might agree with that. To be fair, it was pretty spectacular, but I think all of the emotional moments in this actually have the appropriate facial expressions that really effectively convey the point and really pay off nicely.
Yeah, that last page is great as well. But both those big Darkseid splash pages are fantastic. And I feel like this book has been good about trying to have one or two of those per issue. Not last issue, but the second issue, it was the Plastic Man reveal.
Yeah.
And it's been doing a good job of sort of sprinkling those throughout. I have to say that I am enjoying this. It's really good, and I love how it keeps playing with more DC continuity and mythology and all that. But that Unkillables book set at such a high bar. Like, I love that Unkillables book.
Do you know what I think it was more than anything? I think it was the double-sized issues.
Maybe it was, yeah. There was just so much story you could do in one issue that it just
I think if you look at this as what we've got so far, essentially as 2 issues instead of 4, I think we'd be talking about those 2 issues on par with Unkillables.
Maybe.
With how much is going on. Because we'd have essentially ended the first issue with that Plastic Man reveal and then ended this one with Darkseid. And that would have been 2 phenomenal issues.
Maybe that format is the better suit for this, or maybe the better suit for. I mean, I wouldn't say Tom Taylor's, because Tom Taylor's regular issues for other books are all great. So it's not like there's an issue there.
Yeah, just whatever it is about DCeased lends itself, I think, to those oversized issues where I think it's such a big cast that he's playing with, and we've got more time to do things, and have more character beats with a wider variety of characters per issue.
Yeah, maybe that. But there you go. That's the book. What are you giving it?
I'm also going to give this an 8.5 because I do think it's pretty great still.
I'm going to give it a straight 8.
I get it.